Won't you give me your love? Give me your love.
Greetings y'all, the name's JUNA.R.J, and I know it's been a month since I haven't been making any videos in a while, but there are many things that I've been through throughout when I first entered high school right after my review from Hobbs and Shaw. And high school was a frustrating time for me. There were lots of homeworks, there were lots of requirements I had to deal with, and I'm graduating, I'm studying for my future. And now I thought of taking a break for a while, looking for a free time where I can review movies. There are like 2 movies now that I just recently watched that I was not able to watch. The first film which I was not able to review, which I wanted to review for it, but I thought there was no time for it, and there were other movies that I also have to review, so I thought of doing another quick movie review video for you guys. So here are the list of 3 movies that I'm going to review in this video. The Angry Birds movie 2, Gundala, and also It Chapter 2, which will be the big prize of this film. So all the list for those 3 movies, the time code for it will be in the description below. And now let's move on to our first movie review. There's a reason why I use this airbag. There's a reason for it. And I still use this airbag even when I was watching this movie. I bring the airbag with me when I was watching this movie. I watched the Angry Birds movie 2 days after its US release when I finally get time to see this movie. So there was a sports day going on, so I thought of, hey, why not the Angry Birds movie 2 come out? So instead of just, playing the games, I thought I could just play the actual game. And it's also not a big surprise that the Angry Birds is turning 10 this year, so it's a good choice that the Angry Birds movie 2 is coming. Now, I did not have plans to watch the Angry Birds movie 2. I was looking forward to the Angry Birds movie 2 when the first teaser came out, and I know I was very excited for this film, and I walked to the cinema watching this movie with an airbag, exactly like how I planned. But in terms of big review, I wanted to do a big review on this film, but sadly it won't happen because of many things got in the way. I got many things, I got homeworks and stuff. But moving on with the Angry Birds movie 2, I think the Angry Birds movie 2 really improved from the first film. Now the thing about the Angry Birds movie 2, here's something about what I can say about the formula. Part A is like this size, Part B is like a little bigger, and Part C is a little bit smaller. While this time for the Angry Birds movie 2, Part A is smaller, Part B is a little bit bigger, and Part C is the biggest part. And that's what I can say about the Angry Birds movie 2. I think the Angry Birds movie finally followed what it needs to be in terms of an Angry Birds movie. The movie premises that enemies become frenemies when it acts like that they're actually already good buddies even when they're working together. And I still like how Red is still the same from the first film, which is also the big issue of the film. Red is still, he is this cocky bird. He's the hero of Bird Island, but now knowing that he has to work with the pigs in order to stop the eagle, which I'm not going to say the villain's name, Red becomes a little bit out of his mind. He's still who he is until today, even when he's working with the pigs. And that's what makes him still a part of this film. That's what makes him a big part of the film, the big issue of this film. But overall, the Angry Birds movie 2, there were lots of laughs I can enjoy with this film. This movie somewhat is an improvement in the Angry Birds movie. I think this is finally the Angry Birds movie 2 we deserve. Although it's Angry Birds, it's not really as good as the first film. Maybe it's a little bit improvement. So I can say that Angry Birds movie 2, in between the first film, I guess this movie made some big improvements. I get how there are some people that are hating on this movie because of how this movie is a sequel and it's a little bit too cringy, which there are some cringe moments in this film, but it's still a movie made for kids, and there's still some laughable moments that I was able to enjoy even when I was watching on my own, even on how this movie triggered me a lot. I'm gonna say the Angry Birds movie 2 is a sequel enjoyable for the family with some improvements that triggered me a lot. Yes, I just felt triggered with this movie, and I won't tell you how I got triggered. I just got triggered a lot with this film, which I won't tell you how. There's a lot to be explained later on. Moving on to our next review. I did not have plans to review this film, although it's an Indonesian film and all I do is American movie reviews, but doing one Indonesian right now in front of you guys is finally something to be proud of. My own nation, proud of the origin of the country where I'm living in right now. Of course, this country needs a patriot, as the premise of the film. My life needs a universe, and I'm already making one. And Gundala finally existed. 10 years ago, 11 years ago, the MCU started with Iron Man, and then moving on with 2013, the DCEU started with Man of Steel in order to fix up the DC universe. And now Indonesia, my own country, my home beloved country, has their own superhero universe. How happy I am to finally see that. And Gundala is completely different, unlike any other of the superhero films we see today. This movie takes on the dark tone instead of the lighter tone. And what makes it dark is not just the cinematography or the settings, but everything in this movie. Everything everything is dark. The characters, the tone of this film, the cinematography as well. Also, the storyline is also dark. Now, as part of the superhero formula, the part about Gundala to me is that some elements of his film, Gundala skips some part of the superhero elements. Usually, there's always stuck in this step. He skips some of the steps. Usually, the part that they're stuck in this step, they just have to finish that step and then just move on to the next step without doing. They're just trying to recover the previous steps by just fixing up, moving on to the other version of the steps. And also in this film, they let the supervillains on the first line of the race while the superheroes are always behind. Usually in a superhero film, the superheroes are always on top. They're always forward-headed. Something happened to them and now they become superheroes. They fight crime and now they become an inspiration. And now the villains trying to find a way to fight that superhero. This one takes on an opposite role, which makes this movie interesting. Gundala lets the supervillain wins. And the part about this film that I enjoyed was that this film focuses on the evil part of my city, the part that makes it a criminal city. It is the dark version of Batman, but in a realistic way. And that's what makes this movie so dark and so fresh about this film. This movie got a PG-13 rating in my country, and I'm sure it's not appropriate for the age rating, even for how dark it is. And I'm not sure if kids are going to be scared watching this film, knowing that Gundala is a dark film. But the action takes on using the raid action. So I thought that part of the aspect was cool. However, to me, the main character, I think the main character is too innocent to play the protagonist. He's just too innocent when he grows old. The thing is, he just don't want to get involved into any of the things that are happening in the movie. Anything happening in the world, especially crime. And that's a lesson we can learn from that till now. I'm gonna say Gundala is Indonesia's dark take in bringing a superhero universe. Thumbs up, Indonesia. You're doing a great job. Looking forward to Bumi Langit. Looking forward to see how could Gundala do in the future and all the other superheroes you can bring to life. Well, forget about me. And don't worry about Indonesia. This country will be critic-free from your bad attempts in making a superhero film. There'll be no bad comments, no negativity about this universe. I'm really looking forward to that. Forget about me. I'm also working on my universe. Maybe I'll bring one in a couple of decades later on. And also, best of luck of facing up with Joker later in the Toronto International Film Festival. And now moving on to the final chapter of this review. It Chapter 2, holy heck, that film was scary AF. I think it's much more scarier than the first film, with the fact that this movie is being 3 hours longer than the first film. I was gonna watch this movie on Wednesday, but then suddenly they refunded my money and now I had to watch this movie in IMAX. But it was a lot of a great experience. I was able to see this movie, and I think this movie is much more better than the first film, as like what people might say. Although some people kind of hate this movie, and I can see why this movie is a little bit 50-50 to its point of the film, as the film uses the same concept of the first film, where the first film, each of the characters, they face their own fears, they face with the nightmares of what Pennywise has given to them, and now they must unite together and stop it. That's basically the plot line of the film. But with this movie being 3 hours, the characters must split up. They must do their own personal things, and then they must gather up together and then fight it. That's pretty much the story of this film. What makes this movie so nostalgic is the vibe that has been given to this film. With the fact that now the losers are now all grown up, 27 years later, we get to see a few scenes where the people get to, we get to reminisce their old days where they were young as a kids and what they do back in their teenager days. We also get to see deleted scenes and some parts of the films that was not mentioned in the first film, which was able to be shown in the film. To me, what feels like the biggest gap of this film is basically seeing the final battle, which the final battle to me was, I thought it was great. I thought it was humongous, and I have to say overall the first film did great, but this second film, it looks overall fine to me. I got nothing much to hate about this film. The losers are great, everyone is great. Bill Hader did a great job, James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, you name it, everyone else in this film. And also with the fact that this movie takes place in the modern days, this movie tries to modernize with now we live in 2016. And I like how they done that in this film. And overall, I think there's nothing much to hate about It Chapter 2. I can see that some people hate this film, but to me, I'm just overall okay with this film. When I watched the film, like, throughout the final battle, I was like, well, okay, that existed. They had no choice but to do something like that, so that's finally the decision that the director finally did, and I was overall fine with that. There are also some laughable moments just like the first film, and the horror in this film was already delivered enough, but much more scarier than the first film, I have to say. I'm gonna say this, but It Chapter 2 is a defining finale that ends the It series in a rundown. Now when I say rundown, it's because, well, first of all, at some parts of It, there were things that I like about It, like the scare in this film and how the losers all grown up. But the only cons I have to this film is only just, some parts of the final battle and some of the source material. But some of the source material was actually well written in this film. It was actually able to be brought on the big screen. However, some of them just did not make it in the film. I get it, the book is very long and they try to be long as the book, but they tried what they can, which is the issue with this film. And also speaking of it, they only had one job. They only had one jump and I never get to see it. Isn't that right, Mikey? But yeah, that was overall my review on these 3 movies that I just reviewed. That was going to be the first of this quick movie thoughts video. And the next video will be looking forward to other movie reviews. I changed my mind throughout this video that I'll be watching Ad Astra. And there are also several movies I'll be watching like Joker and Shaun the Sheep of Armageddon. Now those will be the 3 movie reviews that will be coming up next. But there'll be more reviews that I'll be working on later on. There's more of a special video that I got for you guys. But for now I got school for sure. But this review is all I can deliver. So yeah, which one is your favorite movie that you've seen so far? Which one did you like that you've seen from my review? Which one are you looking forward to the most? Which one are you seeing from the quick movie thoughts I have? Which one did you like from it? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, that's all the 3 movie reviews I have in mind. I'm sorry, I'm out of words. I'm too busy right now, but I'll get back to making more videos as soon as possible. Here's the outro. That is all for this video. If you do enjoy this video, give it a like. That would be very helpful. And in the description, you'll find the link so you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. I appreciate you guys for watching this, and I'll see you another time. Goodbye.